Hey, this week our theme is called A Closer Look. That means you're going to be looking closely at things that maybe you pass over. I'm actually working outside today because it's so beautiful, which is my wind chimes every once in a while. It's a sunny day, and that makes me want to notice the small things. Now, I'm not the only person who likes looking really closely at things. I'm going to share some of the pages from an awesome book. It was written by Tanna Hoban. Tanna Hoban was actually born in 1917, over 100 years ago, in Philadelphia. Her parents immigrated to the U.S. from the Ukraine, and she was a photographer. She took some of her photos and actually created children's books from those. What's interesting, too, is that her brother became a children's book author also. Kind of cool family there. Anyway, one of Tanna's inspirational quotes was, "What is there, right there, where I'm standing, that I'm not seeing?" That's a great question to wonder about. So because we're not together in person, and I still wanted to share this book with you, I went ahead and took photographs. Now the book is kind of different from other books. It starts off with one page that's all black, except there's a hole in it, literally a hole in it. And that hole shows you a close-up view of an object. So it's kind of a guessing game too. And then the next two pages show you what the actual object is. In this case, cute puppy. So Tanna Hoban uses her skills as a photographer and her incredible eye for details to capture images that maybe we don't notice very often. And those details, sometimes it's so easy to skip right over them. But with an artist's eye, we focus in and see the details. Wow. Sometimes the details are color. Sometimes the details are texture, like the bumpiness or the smoothness. Sometimes the details have a feeling attached to them, like the cute, sweet expression in this hippopotamus's eye. Okay, super random, but if you've never Googled videos of baby Fiona the hippopotamus, you gotta do it. She's so cute. All right, back on track. Get back to art, Danielson. So as an artist, there's a couple things that you can do, and I'm going to introduce you to both of them this week. One of them, just kind of doing the same thing that Tanna Hoban does, which is use your camera. So those of you that might have a phone with technology, you just take some really interesting pictures and then zoom in and crop them. I love doing that. It makes me notice the things that I hadn't noticed when I actually took the picture. But if you aren't going to use technology, you can go old school with something called a viewfinder. A viewfinder is a super simple tool that allows an artist to crop and then create a composition. Basically, it's just a piece of paper with a square or a rectangle, or like Tanna Hoban, it's a circle, and it's cut out, so it makes the hole in the middle. And then you can see things differently because you're isolating them. That means you're not distracted by all the stuff around them. You're just focused on the one small area of the object. We're going to learn more about it. So the tools for this are pretty simple. In fact, I just grabbed a ripped up piece of paper from my recycling bin and a pair of scissors. You're going to start by folding your paper in half once and then in half again. So once it's folded twice, you'll have a corner that is completely folded. It's folded on the top, folded on the side. That's the corner that you're going to cut. So you'll take a teeny little snip, make it smaller than you think at the beginning, one direction, and then cut the other direction. So when the piece falls out, you'll have kind of an L shape that I can see on mine, and then that will open up and make a window or a hole, or our fancy word is a viewfinder. Maybe that's all you want to do this week. Maybe you just want to make a viewfinder and explore your world. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I entertained myself for a long time doing that. But if you want to take it a step further, check out this book. It's in French. Juste un détail. I don't know, you guys. I don't speak French. But I did buy this in Paris, which kind of gives me a little street cred, right? This book is super cool too. It's similar to the other book that I shared, Lookbook, but it combines art. So the way it works is the artwork is underneath the viewfinder. The viewfinder has just a hole, obviously, through it, and you actually will draw on the viewfinder. But the artwork or the picture that's underneath becomes a part of your drawing. So in that case, we see a little hand on the octopus, but through the hole, we can see that the hand is actually part of the picture. So for an art making challenge this week, find a picture. It could be just from a magazine. It could actually be a photograph, maybe even that you have that you've taken years ago and it's been actually printed. And take your viewfinder, which in this case needs to be on a piece of paper that has some open space. So if you're like me and you grab something from a recycle box, make sure that you have the clean side facing up because you're going to actually draw on that, remember? And then scan your picture, the one underneath, and find an area that looks interesting. And it can be a really tiny area. Like right here, we see what looks like a ball, but it ends up being the back of the little boy's shirt. Why is he wearing his shirt on backwards? All right, focus again. So you're going to keep your viewfinder in one spot so that only a part of the picture shows through, and then you simply draw around it. Now I say simple, but it could be kind of complicated. It's going to take some creativity on your part and some openness because the thing that's underneath might not be the exact shape that you typically would want, but it can still offer a super cool surprise. How about that? Good old Vincent van Gogh's ear showed up as the back of her kimono.